It's the starting lineup. Kip Keefer, Tony Curry, the legend, and Case Keefer bring it every week.
The coaches don't like what's going on.
Fellas, wow. Congratulations.
Weather is of universal appeal. It affects you and everybody watching.
Because you're real, legend. You're authentic. You've lived it.
You never know who's going to be in the starting lineup.
The starting lineup, 10:30 to 11 on ABC 3340 every Saturday morning. Good morning. Welcome to Saturday morning, 10:30 every Saturday morning here on ABC 3340. He's got the shades on. It is the legend. I'm Tony Curry. Kip Keefer, my trusty partner, is in Las Vegas with Case Keefer. We'll be checking in with those two knuckleheads here in just a few minutes. They got a bunch of family stuff going out there. It's all good. We have a special birthday going on. We have a special birth that just happened. So congratulations to Kip, his entire family, for getting a chance to go out to Las Vegas. And of course, he should have shot out there a couple days earlier. Could have gone out there and checked out a fantastic Final Four. The legend, who will be in his cave coming up here in a few minutes on the starting lineup. Four great teams. We had the four number ones the first time since 2008. I had all four number ones, and people were like, oh, that's really good. You really had to think hard to get that one. Yeah, I did, because it was the first time I had it in 17 years. So that was something that a lot of people didn't expect. The Auburn Tigers, we're going to start with them. They come up a little short against the Florida Gators, the eventual national champs. Your thoughts on that game?
Well, you have to give Bruce Pearl and the Auburn Tigers a tremendous amount of credit for getting to a Final Four, the third in Auburn history. This was a team that was really hurt by injuries down the stretch. It was clear that Broome was not himself in that Final Four game, and Florida took advantage of it, Tony, and went on to the national championship game. But even as an Alabama fan, you have to give respect to what Bruce Pearl and that team did this year in the state of Alabama. And the entire state had a tremendous year.
You've been doing sports radio for quite some time. I've been doing it for over 40 years, and it wasn't just about 8, 9, 10 years ago. You know, it was just like you were happy to be on the bubble if you were an Alabama-Auburn fan. You were just happy to be on the bubble. If you had a chance to talk about basketball after the season, it was a great year. There is no reason to say now, with those two coaches and what they got coming in, there's no reason to say that Alabama and Auburn should be in the dance every single year from here on out. It's just a matter of your seeding. You're just playing for seeding from this point on, and I thought we'd never say that.
Yeah, I'm really excited about Alabama looking at next year. You know, they have Aiden Holloway coming back. Latrell Wrightsell Jr. will be back. Reed will be back. The big center, Sorrell, will be back. They got a 7-1 kid coming in from Bucknell that was player of the year in his conference. So really excited about what Nate Oates is doing, and Bruce Pearl's busy too. I look for another huge year in the state of Alabama next year, Tony, and basketball. A state, hey, it's not only football now, ladies and gentlemen, but this is a basketball state now.
Other game, Houston-Duke. A lot of people love Duke in that game. They were giving it 5.5. You went to K4wins.com. You realized that we had the other side. We went 4-0 on the Final Four, and K4wins.com. We did fantastic. I was one of those folks that thought Duke. I kept saying Duke's got the number one offense against the number one defense. What people didn't realize is Duke also had the number 7 defense, and at the end of that ball game, Houston's defense came to glory, man. They couldn't even get a shot off against the Houston Cougars, and of course, they got them that slot in the national championship game.
Well, we've seen this a couple of years ago with Zion Williams and that Duke team that had 3 lottery picks on it. They eventually, due to inexperience, ran into a team that beat them. The same thing happened to Duke this year. They got 3 lottery guys on that team that are freshmen, but when the pressure was put on them in that situation by those other seniors on the other team, they crumbled in a crucial situation.
They had exactly what they wanted. They had Cooper Flag right there in the paint, right? His shot, a little 6.5-footer. It just came up. He just pulled the string a little early, and of course it goes off the rim, and they don't make it. Then, of course, the national championship game. We were just asked before we came on, was that the best Final Four you've ever seen? I was like, not even close. Was it good for you? I want to go because we only have like 23 minutes, and I may need every minute of it. The end of that game, the national championship game, 65-63, was it was setting up to be one of the greatest endings to a college basketball game we've ever seen. It was fantastic. And really, to see Florida's defense be the saviors and the winners in this thing, as opposed to Houston's defense, which everyone was talking about the entire time, But with the stoppage of play and the adding of time, and was the ball out of bounds, it just going on and on and on. There was no fluidity to that game at the end. And, of course, that's the way it ended, too. Couldn't touch the ball or else it was going to be a foul, a violation. It just was a strange ending to what it should have been a hell of a ball game.
Yeah, it was a weird ending, and it made me think about all year long. I kept thinking to myself, this Florida team's not only good offensively, they are extremely good defensively. I seen them shut Alabama down in Tuscaloosa. I seen them shut Auburn down in Auburn. I seen them shut Auburn down again. Auburn looked confused at time in the Final Four against Florida, and it was the Florida defense, not offense, that did to Houston what Houston did to Duke. It came back on them.
Todd Golden's got himself some really good defensive guys on his bench, and he knows exactly what he's doing. Congratulations to the SEC.
Yeah, big.
It would have been.
Big time.
And how much of a bummer. We were saying going in here, SEC or the field, and for the most part, everyone was going with the SEC, and if you did that, I know Casey had a future bet. The SEC did win. How disappointing would it have been for Greg Sank in the SEC had they not won a national title with 14 teams in to start this thing?
Well, my brother David Legend told me it would have been devastating and everything would have been forgotten that the SEC done this year, and I totally agree with him, Tony. To not capitalize with a championship after all we've done this year would have been horrible for the SEC. With Florida winning it, it helps everyone in recruiting. I was a big Florida fan Monday night. Don't know if I could have been an Auburn fan. I doubt it. But I was a big Florida fan. I was a big SEC fan. Benefits everybody.
14 of the 16 teams get in. That was a record. I don't know if we'll ever see that again. There's no reason why we. And the two teams obviously didn't get in. They could have beaten anyone on a given Saturday too. South Carolina, LSU. I mean, the records were terrible. We had 5 teams in the SEC that were sub 500 in their own conference that went to the big dance and did really, really well. So I know it would have been a disappointment. I've been talking about Kelvin Sampson. I'm not a Kelvin Sampson fan. I think he's a dirtbag. I think he's done. I think he's cheated. I think he's written letters to people. There's no doubt that he's a fantastic coach. He would have gotten his 800th win had he won the national title against the Florida Gators. And on top of that, he would have been now one of 18 men who have won that many games, yet only 5 are in the Hall of Fame. My question to the legend is, Kelvin Sampson a Hall of Famer?
I think so. I think so. I know you don't like him. I don't care for him either. But 800 wins, that's amazing. I'll tell you something else amazing. Houston, 7 times to the Final Four, all 7 times lost to the eventual champion.
How about that?
That's amazing.
That really is amazing. And I mean, again,
I thought Alabama had it bad. Oh, my.
No, and listen, he is a great coach, and there's no doubt about it. He just kind of washes me wrong a little bit, and sometimes I hear him, I just think he's full of it. But
Tell us how you really feel, Tony.
There's no doubt that he's obviously a great coach, and he did just a fantastic job with Houston. It was so funny because I was thinking about, did anyone really have Florida going into the season as a national champion?
No.
Towards the end of the week, the last few weeks right here on the starting lineup, we kept saying it was Tennessee, Alabama, and Florida for that final number 1 seed. And obviously, Alabama didn't get that seed, but they had the inside shot going into the last couple of weeks until they kind of fell apart a little bit. But yeah, I thought Tennessee was probably going to have that shot before Florida was. And so the fact that Florida was the team that came out of the SEC to end up putting the crown in our conference for us was pretty amazing.
Well, you're looking at a revolutionary new style of coach that plays an up-tempo NBA style. You see it with Bucky Ball now at Texas A&M. You see it with Nate Oates at Alabama. You've seen it with Todd Golden at Florida. And the reason why teams like Texas A&M and Vanderbilt, these other teams are not winning at this level, or they are playing a watered-down 80-90 style of offense, and the new age offense is wide open.
We had a man named Tim Brando. He was on our show several months ago. He'll join our show again coming up college football season. We want to waste him in the off time. But he was fantastic. I heard him on a podcast a couple of days ago, and he was like, would you guys please stop about the Cinderella garbage and the fact that the sport has lost everything and that it's all about the money and the players doesn't mean. has nothing to do with that. He said occasionally you're going to have a year where you have the chalk go. We had the chalk go big time. They were 48-12 straight up with 60 games in. The last 4 games, all chalk won, and we saw it again in the national championship game where the eventual winner was actually favored in that game. In Florida, the Gators, they were favored by 2. They ended up pushing that game 65-63. But I thought he brought up a really interesting point that, sometimes it's good that we don't have Cinderellas. Cinderellas are great, but sometimes it's good when they lose their shoe a minute before midnight. Because if you looked at the numbers, if you looked at the teams that played college football this year and you took your top 20 teams, your Blue Bloods, your Dukes, your Kentuckys, your Alabamas, your Auburns, your Gonzagas, people like to see teams like that on television. Your little Maryland of Baltimore or whatever, they're fun to watch, trip some teams up once in a while, but they don't keep eyeballs on the TV.
Yeah, absolutely. And here's another point you have to consider. I heard somebody say Cinderella was in the Final Four, and they were in the finals because Clayton Jr. came from a mid-major, Will Richard came from a mid-major, Broome came from a mid-major. So Cinderella has found another way to make the Final Four by getting involved, becoming so good that the players get on these major teams, and now they're the main stars at the main dance.
I actually had a Houston player that actually been part of a Final Four with another team. He could have won another national title this past week. He could have won national titles with 2 different teams. What's going on with this world? It's crazy. I'm starting to sound like legend over here.
My goodness.
I'm going to start spitting. Look out.
Let it out, Tony.
No, it's amazing, too, and it's funny because, I'm sitting there watching that Houston squad. We know that defense wins championships. We always say that. Offense gets the woman. Chicks dig the long ball, but defense wins championships. When Clayton goes 0-for in the first half of the national championship game, this guy put up 34 a couple games ago. This defense is really good. Now, I think he put 11 points up in the second half. They needed 13. They needed every bit of it. Yeah. It's a good thing because the 11 and 13's 2 points, they won by 2. It was huge. But the fact they shut him down, if they had another 10 games in the year, I could say Clayton could be your player of the year for sure.
Yeah, I thought he was definitely the player of the NCAA tournament.
No doubt.
He saved Florida several occasions. They were down and out in 2 particular games, and he took them to that level that a superstar can take you. That's why you got to have that great player.
You're rolling up on me, man. You're rolling up on me. You're going to hear more of the legend from the cave coming up in a few minutes. We're going to head out to Las Vegas. Case Keefer and Kip Keefer, father, son, they're going to be doing a wonderful little break here live and let us know what's going on in the beautiful city of Sin City, Las Vegas, coming up here in just a few minutes right here on the starting lineup.
The charge of the spinning number, the excitement of the sound, and the thrill of the win. Playing casino games is something everyone should experience. Everyone has a chance of winning, but did you know you have a chance of winning big jackpots? Even former pro football player Icky Woods loves the excitement of possibly winning big.
And you can be a winner too!
Only at the Birmingham Racecourse Casino and Victoryland Casino.
Welcome to Las Vegas, everybody. Kip Keefer with Case Keefer, proving once and for all that the starting lineup, if you're in the starting lineup, you got to be ready to go for game time because Case is getting ready to welcome his second child into the world in less than 24 hours. So we appreciate you taking one for the team.
Thanks. No problem.
It's going to be a lot of fun out here this week with the new addition to the family. We're very excited about that. Not so excited for Case's standpoint. You've been hearing all of his role through the NCAA tournament, but it ended badly for him because he had 3 of the 4 teams in future bets in the Final Four. Guess which one he didn't have?
Yeah, the Florida Gators, the bane of my existence all college basketball season. Still haven't quite gotten over it. I'm feeling a little better today. This is 48 hours after the game, but I got to say, I think one of the reasons why I've had some success in sports betting and felt at home with this is I really don't get too emotional about results. I kind of understand variance and things can go one way or the other, but every once in a while there's 1 or 2 a year that just really eat at you, and that national championship game was one. And even back before the national championship game, the Final Four game, because I had had Houston +5. I loved Houston, so I wanted them to cover. But then at the end, I was like, okay, don't win outright, because you can convince me otherwise. Maybe I'm a sore loser. I'm stubborn. I say there's no way Florida's beating that Duke team. So I feel like if Duke just somehow doesn't complete the collapse and we get Duke, Florida, but it's been hard to deal with.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because that was one of the most unique tournament games I can remember in recent years, because Duke was in such control. And I love what Charles Barkley said right after the game. That game was a team of skill against a team of will. And he said, tonight, Will won. I think that's a very accurate description.
Yeah, and I just think Duke, all year, like, maybe one issue, if you wanted to poke holes in them, was they, going back to the beginning of the year in the non-conference, they kind of struggled to close out games. They weren't sharp at the very end when they were in these close games, and they just didn't get a whole lot of reps doing that in the ACC, where they blew out almost everyone. Yeah. So they got in this close game against this physical team that, like you and Chuck said, had this will, and they just didn't know what to do. It was like they were shell-shocked. And yet, all that being said, Houston had a 12-point lead. They were dominating the game. Luckily, even though as morose as I am, and I'm still super beat up about it, I actually didn't lose any money on the game. I bet Florida really big live, +8.5 when they were down 10. So I somehow made a little bit of a profit. I could buy a sandwich for lunch tomorrow or something, but I was just going to have everything if Houston won. So I'm really, I'm still disappointed. I can't believe Florida's our national champion. Sorry to all the Gators fans out there.
Well, tell me if I'm crazy, but I think the fact they got up by 12 may have been counterproductive for Houston, because they're such a fighter, scrapper team. I thought they backed off for just a couple minutes, and all of a sudden, Florida made an 8-0 run.
Yeah, the turnovers were really bad, and I think just the change in the whistle. I'm never a guy. I'm not. Yeah. You're not going to hear me yelling about the referees or saying they're the reason. They're not the reason, but I do think there was a big change. I mean, in the first half, there were 4 fouls called. Then I think in the final 10 minutes or something, I saw there was something like 22 called. And it seemed like the whistle just kind of started going against Houston after that technical foul. It seemed like Todd Golden really fired up his team when he lost it. They got those technical free throws. Then it felt like, to me, Houston didn't get a single call after it. So again, I'm not blaming the referees. It's just another thing where it just felt like everything conspired against the Cougars. And it's a tough one to swallow.
You're usually the voice of reason in the Keefer family when I go off on a tangent. If I don't see another referee's back for the next 25 years, it will not be too soon. It's gotten to the point of absurdity. And I know a half a second makes a big difference. But the flow of the game, I don't think Houston can make that comeback they did against Duke without 4 extra timeouts.
Yeah, they probably need to fix some of the reviewing the clock after every final 2 minutes. Maybe we saw 2 minutes in the tournaments that lasted forever. Definitely, I agree with you. Not the most exciting viewing experience when the game gets bogged down like that.
And it's every call. It's even obvious calls where a guy bats it out of bounds. We're going to confirm that. But I guess it's important to get it right, but I think they've kind of gone too far. What do you have to say to Auburn fans? A lot of folks down in our part of the country really disappointed. They thought Auburn was going all the way. Janai Broome, maybe finally the injuries caught up with him in the second half. He wasn't the same guy. 1 for 6 from the field, only 2 for 6 from the line.
Yeah, and I just feel like they peaked a little early. I know it's something we've talked about on our other show, but I feel like this has kind of been a Bruce Pearl team thing. Time and time again, I feel like they're at their best in like month 2 or 3 in the season. That's not really where you want it to be. I do think part of it was going through the gauntlet of the SEC and getting beat up. I mean, there's no doubt in my mind for probably a majority stretch of the season, they were the best team or right there with Duke, but they just weren't quite at the top at the tournament. I still think you got to be happy. I don't think they deserved the overall #1 seed, to be honest, but I think you got to be happy they ended up getting that and got to the Final Four. They had an easy path, so at least they got there, but I know this will be a tough one to swallow, and to be honest, I'm not too bullish on Auburn's long-term prospects. I'm still kind of a Bruce Pearl skeptic. I know they have a great program. They'll bring in people. They'll be competitive. But like, if you're asking me right now, are they going to break through and win a national championship? To me, it'd be a resounding no.
Let's spend a minute or two on one of the most spectacular sporting events of the year. I'm wearing my shirt, Masters Weekend. Kicking off, and we're actually, for full disclosure, Case expecting a newborn any moment, so we're actually filming this on Thursday so we can make sure to get him in. So this will not air till Saturday, but give us your thoughts even going into the tournament.
Yeah, I think this is one of the more intriguing ones we've had in recent years. Just there's so many guys that I think you can make a case for. It's kind of scaring me right now. Scottie Scheffler's still the best player in the world. He's going to join Jack Nicklaus to be only the second player ever to win 3 in 4 years, which I think he is totally capable of. He's not at his absolute best. He's still coming back from cutting his finger on Christmas, but I still think he's the likeliest winner, but I'm personally trying to beat him. He's like 4-1 on the betting market, just a little too low for me, but I still thought he'd be getting a lot more hype, and no one's picking him, which scares me, but all the other top guys so good right now too. I think Colin Morikawa is right there. Rory McIlroy, if you listen to the show, I gave him about 14-1 in January. Now he's 7-1. I couldn't bet 7-1, but I hope Rory gets done with the career slam. I always thought Xander Schauffele would be a Masters winner. He's not in the best form right now coming back from his own injury, but you can't roll him out. Ludwig Oberg checks a lot of the boxes. John Rahm going for his second. Usually I can scratch off some of these top guys, but I just feel like all the top guys have a shot this year.
Should be a heck of an entertaining tournament at Augusta National. Final thoughts as we move out of basketball season. Are you following baseball early?
Oh, yeah, of course. Baseball every day. It's been a lot of fun. Right before we came out here was watching the Braves game. Right before that, looks like they're on the bounce back. It's gonna be an exceptional baseball season. Good to see the Dodgers tailing off a little bit now. They won their most recent game when we're filming, but lost a couple to the Nationals. It was really heavy in baseball for me right now. It's kind of turned into one of the sports I bet the most just because of the volume, so many games. So, I'm sure in the coming weeks on the Vegas Heater segment of the starting lineup, you'll hear more thoughts from me on baseball.
And I love NBA and NHL playoff season.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. And I guess I do this a lot on the show, but another one, I hope you listened to me a few months ago at the beginning of the NBA season. What was my best bet? Shai Gilgeous-Alexander to win MVP. He's minus 4,000 now. And Thunder Celtics exacta to get to the NBA championship 16-1. I think that's going to be the NBA championship right now. I think he was only like plus 650 or something. He was like the second choice. Good. But it aged well.
Well, we're going to throw it back to the studio to the guys, but enjoying being out here in Vegas, and we'll be back with you on the regular schedule next week. Case, congratulations. Let me shake your hand. You're another child on the way, and very excited in the Keefer family to have a future sideline reporter or maybe a play-by-play girl coming into the world.
Yeah, we'll see. You never know.
We're always looking for brand new sponsors on the show. We're number one in our time slot from 10:30, 11 o'clock every Saturday morning. You want to be on the number one television show right here, ABC 3340 is the starting lineup. I don't make the numbers up, man. It's the real deal. And, of course, college football season right around the corner. We're going to be butting up against that ABC SEC game of the week right there. No one tunes into a college game at 11 o'clock. You'll tune in to see us first. So if you're interested, 542-1848, 542-1848. It's my personal telephone number. Give me a call. I'd love to have you on. Just like Southern Precision Staffing, 205-682-2828. You've seen Kai Gregory on the show. You go 9-0 on this show, you're welcome back, my friend. He's come back many, many times. Southern Precision Staffing, for all your staffing needs, they're wonderful. Your handshake still means something. You look in the eye of Kai Gregory, you know you're doing business with someone really, really good and someone you can respect. Check them out. They're right here in the state of Alabama, but they serve the United States of America just like this show does. 205-682-2828. Woodhouse Day Spa, my good friend Stuart Rome, who's also been on this show. Check out birmingham.woodhousespas.com, birmingham.woodhousespas.com for all of your luxury needs. You need a good rub down after this basketball season. The Woodhouse Day Spa is the way to go. And if you're into some comics, and I know my good friend Legend here, he got himself a great toy. It was the, the Evil Knievel thing, the little thing you spin out right there. I think you got it for like 30 or 40 bucks. If you're looking for toys you never seen, maybe still in the box, maybe some comics that have never been touched, $1 million comics, stuff in the 60s, 70s, and 80s, and toys like Legos, stuff from Star Wars, Battlestar Galactica, all that stuff is still in the box. Or you have some stuff in your attic. Maybe you want to get it out and find out what it's worth. Check out Sasquatch Toys and Comics. Sasquatch Toys and Comics down there in beautiful Homewood. They do wonderful work. I mentioned K4wins.com, K4wins.com. It's me, it's Kai, it's Kip, it's Case. We pick ball games. We finished up the basketball season somewhere around 68.2%. Nice. People are like, 68.2, is that good? Good. Listen, you got to hit 55, 56% just to make money because of the juice. We're at 68%. It was fantastic. We did really well on our picks. And normally what we do is when we have all four of us and we're all on one side, it's a slam dunk. If we go 2-2, we usually throw it off the board. When you got a national championship game, you got to pick something. Yeah. And so we were on the winner on Monday night, and we're happy about that. We also, of course, had the under in that game. Everybody loves Houston and the under in that game. Everybody loved Houston and the under. We saw through that and knew that there's some value there in the Florida Gators. They end up winning a national title. So go to K4wins.com. K4wins.com. It's a free website. And, of course, you can subscribe to it and get our blogs and everything else. And on top of that, we have plays in everything, including the Masters. We got plays in the Masters. We got NHL playoffs coming up here on the 19th. We got Major League Baseball just starting the season. Make that bankroll now, so coming up in late August, you can have a pile of cash and be calling the legend and say, legend, who am I going with this weekend? Alabama or Texas? Tell me who to go with. So get it done. Does that sound good?
I like it. I won a lot of money following you guys, and
your brother did pretty well this year too.
Oh, he did. David Legend was on fire this year, and I should have listened to y'all in that national championship game, but I didn't. That's the problem. Sometimes you're hard-headed, and when you should listen. That's a lesson that I've learned in life. Learn that lesson, ladies.
It was a hard game to pick, and be honest with you, and this drives me crazy. I'm not a coach. I never pretended to be a coach. When you got 13, 14, 15 seconds, and you know you're going to take a last shot, why in the world do they wait till 9 or 10 seconds left to get into their offense? Every team does it. I understand you need 10 seconds, but you know that first drive is going to get cut off. And when that first drive gets cut off, because usually the guy with the ball, the pinpoint guy, he's going to be the one taking the shot. You know he's going to get cut off. When he backs it back out, now you're talking 5.5 seconds, and you ain't got time to screw up. You got to go straight for the hole or find that open guy, and he's only going to have a second to shoot. So I would implore you, and I'm not a coach, but I would implore you guys, start maybe at 12 or 13 seconds. Yeah. Give yourself an extra shot, because in that particular case, Houston may have had another shot at the basket, and because of that, they didn't even get to shoot their last 2 possessions.
Yeah, and Houston is a team that really thrives when they're getting offensive rebounds. So they really rob themselves of the strength of the team, which is offensive rebounds and putbacks. That's what made Houston such a valuable and good team this year.
I'll tell you what I'm so excited about is, we got college football. We don't have to worry about basketball anymore. They used to be September, October, November, December, and then we kind of were hibernating, right? You were going to the Legend Cave. You were like a bear. You were eating like a box of Zesta crackers, and you were down for the wintertime. Now the big bear can't sleep. The big bear's got to get up, because we got sports 24 hours, 365, 24/7.
All year, baby. Starting lineup right here all year long. We're going to be bringing it to you hot and heavy like nobody else. You're going to get it real here. Now, you can listen to all them other folks, but the way Tony, Kip, and the Legend going to bring it, it's 100%, Tony. We don't play.
We're going to have some special guests, too. Your good friend, Paul Feinbaum, who joined us on this show a couple times this past season. He will be on with us numerous times. Our friend upstairs, if you have a broomstick, I could probably hit James Spann's backside right
I thought you was talking about the Lord.
No, well,
nearly.
He's welcome to come on the show anytime he wants to. The Lord's always
Saint Spann. Saint Spann.
He ain't shotgun, baby. He's my driver. He's my driver. I'm just watching where he goes. But James Spann, he'll have something to do with this show as well. He's going to join us on the show. Tim Brando, of course, on the show. We had Damon Johnson. We had the band Leonard Skinner on. I've been working to get Pat Benatar on. Pat, if you watch the show, Pat Benatar, I know you watch the show. Pat, I've been on the phone with her. I've been trying to get her on the show for like 2 or 3 years. I'm like, Pat, let's go, baby. She still rocks me. Hit me with your best shot and come on the starting lineup. We're going to have all kinds of rock and rollers, and, of course, we're working on all kinds of local people, the Stallions. Whoever we got to get on the show, we're a community show. We're a basic morning show, what we do on Saturdays. We'd love to have a good laugh. We like to get after it, and we hope you do too here in the starting lineup. And we couldn't do it without you.
Man, I appreciate it, Tony. It's an honor to be a part of it. And what about them Stallions? They kick off this weekend down here in Birmingham.
Trying to pack protective. They sure are. They're going to try to get it done. And of course, if you're always sitting there saying, well, I don't want to go unless it's a winter chicken dinner. I don't know what else the Stallions got to do in order to prove that they are the real deal.
They're the real dynasty. There's a dynasty going on.
It is
right
a dynasty.
Here in Birmingham.
Yeah, back to back. And of course, on top of that, a lot of people say, yeah, but every league we ever get invited to or ever get started here in Birmingham, man, it shuts down. Let me tell you what, I was down at that Sweet 16, that Elite 8, the women's basketball. I've been down there for NBA preseason stuff. This town loves sports, and we love that. We have the World Games. I love that. We love to get out, support stuff like that. So get out and get it done. Show Birmingham what you're all about. Keep the ticket prices low for us, and certainly you can do that with the Birmingham Stallions, so it's great stuff. All right, Case Keefer, Kip Keefer, the legend, Tony Curry, the whole crew. We're going to be back at you again next Saturday morning, 10:30, 11 o'clock, right here on a show called The Starting Lineup.